You're watching Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham, your host, as always. Before we get into the latest news and rumors, it's game week. Lots to get into. We got jerseys on sale for less than $75. If you want QB1 Mitchell Trubisky's jersey, go to chatsports.com/Bears jerseys. If you want an Allen Robinson jersey, guess what? Same link, chatsports.com/Bears jerseys. All these jerseys, 25% off. This deal is not going to last forever, so take advantage while you can. So speaking of Allen Robinson, here is the latest on a potential Allen Robinson extension. The latest is there's basically nothing new because General Manager Ryan Pace says, despite week one being here, we don't view this as a deadline to get a deal done for our number one receiver. So, I don't like this. I'm not a fan of how the Bears have approached this. I think they should have paid him earlier this offseason. They opted not to do that. And now Allen Robinson, a guy who's a high-character player, who's been a really good on-the-field and off-the-field guy for this organization, I think he's starting to get frustrated. A couple of cryptic tweets from yesterday that he put out, just kind of the, being quiet emojis here. I think that's that kind of says a lot. Hard to read what NFL players are doing on social media these days, but I think you can kind of put two and two together there. And then he threw this one out there, too. Never trip because the goal is bigger. And then he's got the little checkered flag because the season's about to get going here. So this is interesting. This is something to monitor. I'm not saying if the Bears don't get this done before Sunday's game against the Lions that they can't get it done. It just gets a whole lot more difficult to get a deal done during the regular season. So how concerned are you about the Allen Robinson contract situation? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being, we're going to get this deal done tomorrow. 10 being, this is like Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, and the two sides can't come together, and it's a disaster. I'm not there. I'm at like a 6. I'm a little concerned. I'm closer to 10 than I am 1, but this is certainly something I'm going to be keeping my eye on over the next couple of weeks and throughout the entire season if a deal does not get done. Now, Allen Robinson is, like I said, a number one receiver, and you don't mess around with these guys, especially when the players behind him, it's not like it is, speaking of the Cowboys, a situation where you have Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. You've got Allen Robinson, and then Ted Ginn's 35 years old. Anthony Miller's flashed, but he's kind of inconsistent. Cordell Patterson, kind of more of a running back at this point. Like, it's not like you have guys waiting in the wings just ready to take over and just have 1,200-yard seasons the way Allen Robinson does. So this is not a player that you can afford to mess around with, in my opinion. I think this is a guy in Allen Robinson that you need to take advantage of and keep him around in Chicago for the foreseeable future. I'm hoping this happens. I would love for a deal to happen in the next 5 minutes, even if that means I have to refilm this video. I don't think that's going to happen, but keep an eye on Allen Robinson in this contract situation moving forward. Now, do you guys want a live post-game show this Sunday? Bears, Lions, week 1. You want me to go live, break it all down for you guys, hand out some grades, do some live Q&A after the game? What do you think? If you're cool and you enjoy the Bears, type Y for yes. If you're an infiltrated Packers fan and you want to shit on this show, type in for no, a.k.a. why wouldn't you want a live post-game show? If we get enough Ys in the comment section, if we get enough new subscribers off today's video, we'll go live. I'll break down the entire Bears-Lions game for you guys. I'll take some of your questions and, for as long as we need to go here on Chicago Bears Now, but you have to subscribe to the channel. We get enough Ys, get enough new subs, we'll go live for week 1 post-game show here this Sunday. All right, Eddy Pineiro, he's heading to injured reserve. This has kind of been in the works, not super surprising. They've been a little quiet about it, but now it's official. He is set to miss at least the first 3 weeks with a groin injury. This is why they put Cairo Santos on the practice squad. Santos will be your kicker for at least week 1. After that, who knows? So they're going to use one of his 2 opportunities to be activated from the practice squad for game week, for a game day. So if Santos is still the guy after week 2, they'll have to promote him to the 53-man roster, but as of now, he will just be a game day activation for the Chicago Bears. We'll see how week 1 goes, and then we will go from there. Kind of a, average to below average career kicker. Not terrible as Santos, but 81%. 8 for 17 from 50. That's actually not bad. You're looking at for about 50% from 50 yards and out. Not great, but I think he's a little bit better than Cody Parkey, as you guys know. So hopefully things don't fall apart without Eddy Pineiro. But this is a whole different question. Do you trust Cairo Santos? Type T for trust, type D for don't. I don't really trust any Bears kicking situation over the past couple of years. Pineiro started to kick well, and now he's got a groin injury. So let me know, T for trust or D for don't. And a part of this move is Mario Edwards officially signs and is a part of the 53-man roster. We broke this down on our practice squad video that the Bears were signing Edwards, but they had to make room for him. Pineiro goes to IR. Edwards is a part of the 53, and you guys are probably asking, why is Santos not part of the 53? He doesn't have to be. He can kick on game day for up to 2 weeks as a member of the practice squad, and then the Bears may have to make a decision in week 3 because Pineiro won't be on the active roster. But Mario Edwards, part of this team now. He's going to be a rotation defensive end type. The Bears needed another defensive lineman, a rotation type of guy like Edwards. Cheap, fairly productive. This was a no-brainer. After losing Eddie Goldman, they needed another lineman on that defensive front. Now let's get to David Montgomery. Injury update here is I think we'll know more tomorrow. The Bears have said as much that on Wednesday they will have a more concrete answer on his Week 1 status, but it's up in the air right now. He participated at practice on Monday in an unclear capacity. It was a closed off to the media session practice, so no one knows how much work he actually did. We'll see, as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday here, how much work he actually gets done, but I would put it at about a 30% chance right now that he plays in Week 1. It's not 0, but I don't think it's 50% or higher just because this was a 2 to 4 week injury timetable, and it happened 12 days ago. Now, by this Sunday, it'll be a little more than 2 weeks, but I don't love his chances. Here's Matt Nagy. He said, I'll talk to you Wednesday about Montgomery, but we do feel good with our running back room right now. They feel like they can get by for at least a game, if 2 at the most, with Tariq Cohen, Ryan Nall. They can work Cordero Patterson there at running back as well. Look, the Bears didn't go sign Leonard Fournette. They didn't go bring in another vet because, A, they don't feel like Montgomery's injury is serious, and they like the guys they have. Now, we'll find out quickly if Montgomery doesn't play in Week 1 how much they trust these guys as you answer this question. Will he play? 1 for yes, 2 for no. If he doesn't play and these other guys stink, hopefully he's back in Week 2 because he is going to be a big part of this offense in 2020. Now, if you want a David Montgomery jersey or any Bears jersey, you can get one for 25% off for a limited time only at chatsports.com/Bears jerseys. Again, that link is in the comments. It's in the description. It's not just the jerseys we're showing you. Tons of them are available. By the way, I just want to verbally mention this. Cole Kmet number 85 jerseys are available. That one is not on sale, but it's at that same link. So if you want to get the Bears rookie jersey, you can go to chatsports.com/Bears jerseys. But like I mentioned, pretty much all of these are 25% off. Now, the Bears have released their unofficial depth chart, as every NFL team is required to do before Week 1. A couple of things that caught my attention. Jalen Johnson and Tayshaun Gibson are listed as starters. They were stuck in competition. CB2 was kind of wide open. Looks like Johnson's ready to go, and more on him in a little bit. And then Tayshaun Gibson is listed as the starting safety next to Eddie Jackson. So we'll just kind of sprint through the depth charts here. Quarterback, no surprise, right? Trubisky 1, Foles 2, Tyler Braze on the practice squad. Number 2 here, David Montgomery at the running back position. He's listed as the starter. Again, he's injured. We'll see if he plays. Tariq Cohen, Ryan Nall. They listed Patterson as a receiver, but I think he will play some running back still as he's been working out there during training camp. Tight end, Jimmy Graham's tight end 1, Cole Kmet, Demetrius Harris are your top 3 there. Eric Saubert and J.P. Holtz are also on the roster. Bears going heavy at tight end with 5. And then wide receiver here, 7 listed, like I mentioned, with Patterson. He's kind of a flex. He's going to play some running back, some receiver. We'll see what the Bears decide to do with him in this offense. Offensive line here, 9 in total. Your starters, Charles Leno Jr., James Daniels, Cody Whitehair, Jermaine Ifedi, and Bobby Massey. Daniels was listed also as the backup center. That is why they did not carry Sam Mustipher on the active roster. Defensive side of the ball, 6 guys, Akeem Hicks, Bilal Nichols, Roy Robertson, Harris. Interesting note, Nichols listed as the starting nose tackle, so he is going to get the majority of the work there, although John Jenkins will rotate in quite a bit. Linebackers, no real surprises here. We know who the starters are, the backups are, who they are. We'll see how much Travis Gibson and Barkevious Mingo get into the mix, Josh Woods as well. And then you get to the secondary here. This is a couple of interesting talking points. Tayshaun Gibson is your starting safety next to Eddie Jackson. And then Jalen Johnson, the rookie out of Utah, who's kind of dealing with the shoulder. Artie Burns got hurt. We were like, who's going to start at CB2? It is going to be Jalen Johnson, at least for week 1, and he confirmed that himself today. The Bears put out their depth charts yesterday. Today he was asked, and he said, yes, I have been told I will start at corner against the Lions in week 1. He says he's prepared. He's been waiting his whole life for this. And he expects the Lions to target him early because he's the young guy on the Bears defense, and especially in that secondary, so that'll be something to watch. Special teams real quick. They listed Pineiro as the starter, but obviously he is injured for week 1, so Santos will be the guy. O'Donnell and Scales are your punter and long snapper. Nothing really to see there. No real surprises. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. We just showed the roster. What's the better Bears roster? Was it 2019 or was it 2020? What do you guys think? I actually think the raw talent is better this year. A couple of injuries to deal with, but I'm going to type my 20 for 2020 because I think that the Bears' talent is better in 2020. All right, Super Bowl expectations as we start to wrap things up here on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now. Ryan Pace enters this year on the hot seat. He knows what's at stake, and he's not backing down saying, look, we have championship expectations year in and year out, and that is not going to change. And the reality is I'm not saying he's setting himself up to fail, but if the Bears don't make the playoffs, he's out. Like that's just how this is going to go. Like if the Bears underachieve and don't play well this season, they will be searching for a new general manager, and they might be searching for a new head coach as well. Here's Pace on the 2020 season. Every year we have championship expectations, and this is no different. I really feel like we can excel in this unusual season because of the people we have, the continuity that we have. So our expectations are championship expectations, and they are every year. Now, I want you Bears fans, especially you diehards, maybe you're older, you've been around for a long time, you want to see another Super Bowl. It's been a while since '85. If the Bears win the Super Bowl, you will blank. What will you do? Fill in the blank for me. If the Bears were to win the Super Bowl this season, let me know what you would do down in the comments section. And obviously, look, the run to the playoffs, the run to trying to win the NFC North and make a Super Bowl run, it starts Sunday. You got the Lions, week 2 against the Giants. A couple of opportunities early on, in my opinion, to secure some early wins. Falcons and Colts, those are games you got a chance in as well. Then obviously things are going to kick into gear as you get deeper into the schedule. You got Brady and the Bucs. You got the Rams on the road in week 7. The Saints come to town. Those are going to be some tough games at Tennessee is going to be challenging. All divisional games. First the Vikings at the Packers with a bye in between. That's not going to be an easy stretch by any means. And then the final 5 games against the Lions at home, against the Texans, at Minnesota, at Jacksonville, and then Green Bay to finish the year. I actually kind of like the final stretch there. If you're in position entering week 13 to make a playoff push, you've got some manageable games down the stretch. So it all starts this week. We'll have videos all week long gearing you guys up for the week 1 matchup. Remember, subscribe if you want a live post-game show this Sunday. Make sure you sub, turn on notifications, and we'll see you next time.